LSU comes out hot. It feels like they blow it again against Texas A&M as number 14? Yes, Texas A&M upsets number 8 LSU 38-23. Give me some of your takeaways on this one, man, because this is another disappointing Brian Kelly loss. You feel like LSU is in the driver's seat. They go up big, they go up quick, and they just can't do anything with it. And I don't know if we can feel any sort of confidence in this LSU team.
I would agree with you. They had it in the bag in the first half, 17-0.
Yeah.
I mean, they had it in the palm of their hand in Cal Field, right?
Yep.
Third largest attendance. Third largest attendance, 103,000 people out there.
Ever?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what I read. And I actually saw it on the game.
100,000 people at a football game. That's just nuts, dude.
Yeah, Cal Field's huge.
Yeah.
They are out there banking on, Reveille's out there counting on them. And they're down 17-0 going into the locker room. I don't know what Mike Elko said, and I've been high on him all year. They hired the right guy. I've been adamant about that since the year started because of his performance at Duke last year. The momentum shifted, and I'll give you 2 words: Marcell Reed.
Oh yeah, no game plan for that guy.
No game plan whatsoever.
No game plan for that dude.
3 touchdowns, my guy. I mean, shoot. They're showing why they are top of SEC in conference play. I mean, with that win, and like you said, I'm disappointed in Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm highly disappointed in Brian Kelly and what he's doing. Like you said, he had it in the palm
It's just
of
another
his hand.
hack job at coaching. It's just another failed opportunity for Garrett Nussmeier, as much as I do like the guy at quarterback.
Yeah, I do too. But Marcell comes in for Connor Wegman. He's not doing too well, and coaches count on him, and he delivered.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I got to say about it.
Yeah, Mike Elko, definitely the right hire for them. You know, it's gutsy when you pull a guy like Connor Wegman. I think he was 6 for 14, less than 50 or 60 yards in the first half. You know, there was just no offensive spark whatsoever. Yards. Yeah, and Mike Elko comes in, throws in the true dual threat quarterback, redshirt freshman in Marcell Reed, and they go on 5 straight scoring drives, and you know, kind of just the rest is history in this game. And it's sad because, you know, LSU came out big time in this game. Like you said, they go up 10-0 quickly. They're up 17-7 at the half off of a big 76-yard touchdown catch and run. I thought they really needed a touchdown on the first drive in this game as well. It seems like all 3 games that we're talking about today, whether they were close or not, just came down to a couple plays. We know this is a game of inches. You know, it's the details really matter, but leaving points on the board definitely felt like it was a characteristic of some of these games this weekend. I thought they were moving the ball very well, and even Peyton Durham had a very key part in that as well. But when you don't hit the 2 field goals in the first half for LSU, along with no touchdown on the first drive, you can't help but grieve over points that are left off the board for this team. You have a chance to be up by 20.
Right.
2-0 at the half, possibly. And then you get absolutely outscored in the second half, 31-6. I thought, you know, like I said, I thought Nussmeier was playing well. He was putting on a little bit of a show until he threw the awful interception that really put Texas A&M right back in the game. And it just really went downhill after that. He threw another awful second INT and a third INT all in the second half. You had the third botched field goal for LSU, and it just, you know, kept the woes going in this game. I mean, the snapper's not looking, snaps the ball into his helmet. The kicker's looking up at the play clock. I mean, these guys just, they weren't in sync. They weren't tuned in. I don't know if you can exactly, you know, look at Brian Kelly for that, or if you take a look at your special teams coordinator, probably the latter for sure. But, you know, if there was a growing theme in this game, it was LSU could not stop the big run plays in the second half, whether it was Le'Veon Moss, whether it was Marcell Reed. They were just chewing up the Tigers on the ground. I mean, Marcell Reed comes in again, 3 rushing touchdowns on the day, 5 straight scoring drives for Texas A&M in this game.
Yep.
Outscore LSU 31-6 in the second half. And it just shows you, again, when you see, you know, that a guy like Mike Elko was able to not only deal with a bad quarterback play, but also, you know, pull that quarterback, put a guy in who's a dual threat, lean on the running game like they have been, which is damn near turning a lead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're a newer coach. You're down big. You could have been down even bigger, but you adjust. You get in this game. You have 5 straight scoring drives, but that's not the case for Brian Kelly because you don't adjust. You had no game plan for the redshirt freshman quarterback who was dual threading you to death, and you had no answer literally for the 5 straight scoring drives. I'll just sum up the game in one statement for LSU.
Hey?
They gave up 242 rushing yards to Texas A&M, and they've leaned on it all year. I mean, the run game is downright elite, bro. Am I wrong?
It is, and I will sum it up for you in one statement. In the second half, LSU looked about as lost as their placeholder during that missed snap. That's what they looked like.
They were what?
I said they looked about as lost in the second half as their placeholder when he missed that snap.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't like to, kind of take the mainstream vibe and pick on the coach like everyone is, but you got people out here calling Brian Kelly a fraud. This could have possibly been a get-right game for both teams. And, not even a get-right game, but LSU, the way the game started, it was LSU's game to win. It was all LSU in the first half, all Texas A&M in the second half. And when you don't have a plan for a quarterback that's going to come in and play that way, it's going to hurt you. Entering the game, LSU's offensive line had allowed just 2 sacks in the first half against A&M's pass rush. Nussmeier was pressured, but he still had time to get through his progressions. However, as you got through the game in the second half, LSU's O-line did break down. They got 2 sacks on him in just this game, 6 tackles for loss, 3 second-half interceptions. Obviously, Nick Scorton leading the way. One of the 2 sacks. He had a team-high 6 quarterback hurries for a total of 19 hurries on Garrett Nussmeier for the day. You look at Texas A&M going down the line as well over the next 4 games. That defensive line isn't going to necessarily play big-time O-line competition, including Texas in the very last game of the year, like we just talked about. They sustained 4 sacks from Vanderbilt as well. And let's just look at Texas A&M's schedule, man, as we go down the line, because you have to ask an honest question. Do you risk, with being first in the SEC and knowing how Connor Weigman just did not play well against an LSU team that clearly didn't have a defense that could stop an offense when you put it together? Answer this for me. Do you risk Connor Weigman going back in, or do you give the job to Marcell Reed for the rest of the year? Because you got South Carolina, New Mexico State, Auburn, and Texas.
Yeah,
I don't think those are any slouches for Texas A&M to finish the year outside of New Mexico State. And let's just be real. Everybody's playing hard this year, Alan.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the SEC, man. I mean, we're seeing, like I mentioned earlier, like that Tennessee-Arkansas game. We're seeing weird stuff like that happen. So,
yep.
I don't think you risk it. I really don't. But ultimately, it is up to Mike. I mean, to see what they want to do going forward. And I won't be shocked if he does put Weigman back in early on, let's say in the first half of the South Carolina game, just to get a feel for how he's doing.
Yeah.
But if there's any sign of struggle, I think he pulls him. I definitely do, because you cannot risk it. You're about to get
You're
to
first
the
in the SEC. Yes, you are about to walk into the SEC title game if you can just win out, run the table, and you're there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And even if you do lose in the SEC championship, you're probably going to go to the 12 team at that point.
Right.
Probably. I mean, you're good enough to. So I also wanted to fact check myself on something real quick. So
go for it. You got it.
The third largest attendance at Texas A&M, Kyle Field, was 108,852 for the football game. And they only have a capacity of about 103.
Yeah, that's crazy to know that there was over 5,000 people in the standing room. Brian, I saw your comment earlier. Isn't that normal to have 100K plus? Yeah, it is in college, but when you just think about 100,000 fans in one building, it wouldn't be the same if it was the NFL. Right. It wouldn't be the same in the NFL. We've talked about the pageantry, the traditions, but over 100,000 fans in one stadium, it'll never cease to amaze me. You know what I mean? Right. Because you don't see that every game. It is normal when you have these big time home games for Ohio State, Texas A&M, Texas, Georgia, whatever the case is. But yeah, it definitely still blows my mind. I'm with you though, man. You can't risk it. You cannot risk it with the way that Texas A&M is playing right now. Say again.
I said them black uniforms were slick. They meant business.
Yeah, they were. They were very slick. I really don't think you can risk it. I'll be honest. I haven't been super interested in Texas A&M this year, but this game kind of put something in my eyes, again,
Right.
and I'm not
Same.
really high on ISU, LSU either, because I do think they gaffed this one away. They choke job this one away, but I don't think you can risk it with the position Texas A&M is in right now. Again, 5-0, undefeated, first in the SEC. Run the
Yep.
table and you're in. You're playing Georgia. You're playing whoever it might be in the SEC title game. Maybe on the next episode we'll be able to predict who we got winning each of these. What's it called? Michigan Big House and Beaver Stadium for Penn State. Yeah, absolutely. If there's any sort of really tradition with these teams in the NCAA, you're going to have a packed out stadium of over 100,000 people.
Right. Absolutely.